Hello everyone, today I'm going to talk about traditional classroom learning versus online learning. Both options offer students different ways to learn, interact, and develop their skill. However, when we compare them, we can clearly see that they have different methods, advantages, and challenges. Each has its own strengths depending on the student needs and situation. Let's start with the definitions. A traditional classroom means face-to-face lesson in a physical place like a school or university. Students and teachers meet in person, share space, and communicate directly. On the other hand, online learning refers to lessons delivered through the internet. This can be live sessions or recorded classes that students can watch later. One of the main differences between the two is interaction. In a traditional classroom, a student can talk to their teacher and classmate immediately. They can ask questions, get instant feedback, and participate in group activities. Whereas in online learning, interaction can be synchronous, meaning live, or asynchronous through forums, messages, or chats. The teacher's role also changes. In traditional learning, the teacher guides and monitors students in real time. In online learning, the teacher acts as a facilitator and gives students more autonomy. Now, let's talk about students' autonomy and flexibility. In the classroom, the schedule and pace are fixed and students usually follow the teacher's instructions. In contrast, online learning gives students more freedom to plan their time and study at their own pace. One advantage of online learning is flexibility. You can study anytime and anywhere. However, a drawback is that it can be difficult to stay motivated or manage time effectively without face-to-face support. In the traditional classroom, students have less autonomy, but the structured environment helps them stay focused. A major benefit of the traditional classroom is social interaction. A student can communicate face to face, make friends, and learn through teamwork. Online learning, in contrast, can sometimes lead to isolation if there are not group activities. When we talk about cost, classroom learning usually involves paying for facilities, transport, and printed materials. Online learning can reduce those costs but requires investment in devices and reliable internet. For example, in Santa Marta, traditional classrooms work very well in schools and universities with good facilities. However, online learning is especially useful for students who live in remote areas or need a flexible schedule. A blended learning approach combining online and face-to-face lessons could be a practical solution for both urban and rural students. Overall, both traditional and online learning are effective when teachers plan carefully and students stay motivated. A blended learning approach often combines the best features of both systems. I recommend traditional classroom for students who need structure and teamwork, and online learning for students who are independent and need flexibility. In the end, what really matters is not the method itself, but how teachers and students adapt and engage in learning process. Thank you for listening.